Hey guys, finally FAQ video number 2 is ready. We're gonna combine some footage from my hometown of Dubrovnik and then after that some Seattle footage. So check it out, it's gonna be a long video.
Okay, so Arcad says, besides being a streamer, what are your future goals and aims? Well, when I finished college, I thought I was gonna be a programmer, software engineer, whatever, something in the IT, but since this came in and I went full-time streaming, I'm doing this, and it's only been a year since I started this, so I don't know what's gonna be in the next few years, but maybe being a streamer is something I can do for the next 5-10 years, and then after that we'll see. It's really hard to tell, so I can transition anywhere basically. So we'll figure that out on the fly. There's no real plans that I have, but for now it's only PUBG. Next year, who knows what it's gonna be. As a pro player, do you put yourself through anti-doping tests? If yes, what was it positive for? That was Bill KC. Yeah, definitely. Every week I have to go, but it's always only one thing. My blood is 100% pure skill. It's positive on pure skill, so I think that's not a problem, I think. So Ninja Kai with, why do you play tournaments? For experience or fun? That's a really good question. I'm a competitive person and a player, and a lot of you know me or got to know my channel from me being rank 1 on the NA or EU leaderboard, but I never decided to be a pro player and chase the pro tournaments. But if there's a chance that I can participate in a tournament, I'll most likely take it, and it's for both fun and experience, and for me to show the people that I can actually play on a high level and not just public games. But it's mostly just my competitive nature and what I like to do. I really like adrenaline in tournaments, and I think I learned how to perform well under pressure, and that's what I like to do. I like to play LAN tournaments, I like to play online tournaments. That's my thing. It's just that it happens so that I chose not to be a pro player because my streaming career took off. Rupanshu with, what's your take on Call of Duty Blackout Battle Royale? Is it too good or just overhyped? Well, Call of Duty Blackout is definitely overhyped, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a bad game or anything. I think it's gonna do okay. Maybe it does really well, maybe it becomes the next Fortnite, but it has a lot of inherited problems of the Call of Duty franchise. That is that they release one game every year or something. So I don't know how long lasting this game is gonna be. And also there's a really nice price tag, €60 or dollars, depending on where you buy it, and maybe even more if you decide to buy some other stuff. I'm not too into it, so we'll see. It's definitely not a PUBG killer, but the main point is a lot of streamers are a bit desperate for a new game because in the last 2 years only Fortnite and PUBG came out, which were really successful. Other than that, all games are much older. They're in the top of Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see in October what happens. But I get it. People are a bit desperate and they want to hype a new game and they want it to succeed so they could play something else. And I'm one of them, but I'm not too convinced yet on Call of Duty. We'll see. sprEEEzy, why do you stop being pro player Overwatch and how you ended up with PUBG? Well, I used to play Overwatch while I was in college, and I played as much as I could. I didn't have all the time in the world like I have right now. Overwatch is a very delicate game, and it's really stressful to play, at least in solo queue and when you want to win, because it's a 6-on-6 game and you depend on so many people that you don't know. There's so many trolls and really bad players and really mean players. So it's really tough mentally. But I never played it on the pro level. I played it with a local team. We played on all the local events. We did really well, and that was our main goal, just to win every local event. So other than that, I mean, I like the game, but it's really not something I want to do for the rest of my life. PUBG is a much more streamable game in my opinion, at least for me. What I hoping to be the next big thing in gaming? If you cannot see one on the horizon, describe your ideal game to stream. Well, that's a tough one, because I don't really know what I want to play. I definitely want to play something that is not an FPS, because I used to play Overwatch, I used to play Call of Duty, but that's about it for my FPS experience. And I spend most of my gaming time playing MOBAs and MMORPGs and real-time strategies. So Starcraft, World of Warcraft, basically all Blizzard games except maybe Diablo, I've played really actively, and I like those games, and they had such a nice feel in them. No other game gets even close to something like World of Warcraft or RuneScape. So maybe I would like something more relaxed to stream. PUBG is quite intense. Although these days I'm pretty used to all the adrenaline and 1v1 situations and top 10 situations. A lot of people that get stressed. I played so much that I'm just relaxed. That's my everyday environment, so I'm relaxed when I play these days. But still, it'll be nice to relax with the chat and just play something slower paced, maybe with a bit more brain activity in some way. Not just point and shoot, but it is what it is. It's an FPS, and you cannot say FPS games are no skill and just no brain. Of course, there's a lot of skill and a lot of brain, and I think that's why I like PUBG, because unlike some other FPS games, in PUBG you can really outmaneuver your opponent. It's not just about aim. So yeah, that's a really nice thing about PUBG, but we'll see what comes in next. It's all about what appeals to the younger audience. Planet of Rocks, what is the future of PUBG? Will it survive the next 2 years? Of course, it's not easy to say, but judging by the announcements that PUBG Corp made about their Pro League, they have plans for 4 or 5 years as far as I know. So the esports scene is gonna live. I'm pretty sure it's gonna live. They have really big plans. About the game for the casuals, I still think PUBG is the best BR game out there, and they're really working hard on fixing all kinds of stuff. So a year from now, PUBG is not gonna have desync issues and FPS issues, I think. If it does, it's gonna die, but I think in a year they can fix all of their issues and keep releasing new content and maybe make some kind of new evolution of the BR genre, add something new. Maybe they'll think of something that appeals to a lot of people again. So typically when games get their first hype and then it starts going down, it never really goes up anymore. I've really looked into that on a lot of these games that kind of died out. They get huge hype and then they die, and they never really recover. Maybe they recover after some patches, but hopefully PUBG is not gonna go down that road. Aditya asking, why aren't you playing with ITZY, Fuzzface, or Larson? Last few weeks, I've been really enjoying solos. So if I play solos, I don't get to interact with other streamers, but of course, we're all good friends and we're gonna play with each other. It's just that I am the one that is playing all the solos, and we'll definitely play more squads. Just I don't know when. If I want to stream solos, I'm going to, because solos are the best. Period. They're the best for streaming. You interact with your chat. There's no downtime except in between games. You don't spectate your teammates when you die. You just get a new game. You get to show a lot of your skill and you have a lot of freedom. So I really like solos for streaming. And that's the main reason why I play solos on stream. And that's the main reason why a lot of people came to my stream in the first place. All right, so Biswajit Sahu with, what's your reaction when you go out somewhere and your fans recognize you? Well, I don't think anyone ever recognized me and said, "Hey, sprEEEzy, how you doing?" Maybe once or twice somewhere I was playing basketball or whatever, and someone would approach, "Hey, man," but maybe that's once or twice since I started, so that doesn't really happen. Main reason is because I stream in English, and only about 3 to 4% of my audience is actually from Croatia. And other than that, I've been to some international events. Some people approach me, but that doesn't count, okay? If you go to a gaming event, people are gonna know you. No matter how big or small you are, someone's gonna know you. So that doesn't count, all right? But other than that, no, it doesn't really happen. T Pucky with, when can we get a tour of your setup? No. My setup's terrible, okay? Let's not talk about it. It looks really bad, and maybe once I move and get a nice big desk and I put everything on the new desk, then we'll talk about it, okay? God Knight Eunice, I'll rephrase your question. So, have you been struggling with playing other games than your main game, which is PUBG? So yes, I've been struggling with that, but at the end of the day, I didn't really find a new game that I want to play. I tested out with Fortnite. It didn't really work. I mean, it did, but it was a bit too early for me. I was still only 6 months into full-time streaming, and people are not attached to me as a person and a gamer, and more of just my PUBG gameplay. And it's still that way, but it's not that much. I've gotten so much more support from the regular viewers, and that's what I really appreciate. Question for myself: what happened to the vlog you were supposed to make in Seattle when you went to Broadcast Royale? That's a good question. Unfortunately, there was a problem with my camera, with the firmware on it, where it just wouldn't let me record more than 30 seconds or something, and then it would bug out and say that it's a slow SD card. So there was a problem, and hopefully I fixed it now. So we'll see. If this FAQ video comes out, that means I fixed the problem. And also the camera wouldn't turn off. That was a really weird problem that I've never seen before. The camera not wanting to turn off no matter what you do. Mateo Nedic with a question. Will you do like one stream speaking Croatian for the Balkan viewers? I think I did a few of those streams when I play tournaments and stuff, but once again, only a small portion of my viewers are actually Croatian, so it wouldn't make sense for me to do Croatian only streams, and I don't want to make a new channel just for the local viewers, because it would take way too much time and effort. So I'm sticking with this for now. If there's an opportunity where I play with some Croatian or local streamers, I'll do it, but other than that, it's English. I know that it's tough for some of you guys that know that I'm from Croatia, listening in English all day, but it's just something that I chose. It was a business move, guys. Hopefully you understand. Question from Dwint Rowe asking if I'm open to joining a pro team, and do you have a specific team in mind? Myself joining pro teams, I think you're aware that I don't really want to join a pro team, but I did say that maybe I would consider it if it was one of the top teams that invited me. But then again, I'm not playing on a level, and I'm not good enough to play in the top teams. So to answer your question, no, I'm not currently looking for a pro team, and the main reason is I don't have the time I don't want to commit that much time to playing as a professional. I have my own pace and I'm doing well, and I get to do all kinds of other stuff in life and then just playing PUBG 14 hours a day. So that's the main reason. Sean Wagner with, you seem to have a lot of connection with several professional players in PUBG. Would you ever consider starting your own professional team? I always dreamed of having my own professional team since I was, I don't know, 14, 15, since I started following esports. But whenever I thought about it from the business side, it never worked out. You need so much money to get started with it, and then you need quite some luck also for it to pick up steam and keep rolling. It's very tough, and I know a lot of people that own pro teams, and it's not easy on them. Of course, it's easy, quote unquote, for teams like Liquid or Navi, the teams that got popular years ago, that started out when there was almost no one out. But these days, all the best teams of 5 people, gamer teams, get picked up by big organizations, and there's not much to do for the smaller ones. So it's rough out there for the new gaming teams coming in. It depends on how much money they have to invest in their players, to pay the players, to pay the LAN support, to pay the boot camps, pay all their expenses. It's not like it used to be. It's much harder these days, I feel. Benyes with sprEEEzy, have you played arena FPS games like Quake? So I've never played Quake until about a few months ago when I installed Quake Champions. And I must say, I'm a bit sad that I missed out on Quake. I never got to play it. Maybe I played Quake Live for a few hours, but that doesn't count. I never played it actively. I think Quake is one of those games where I would sink a few thousand hours just to get a bit better. Similar to Starcraft, it's a really high skilled game, but it takes a lot of time to perfect your skill. And what I like about 1v1 games is that there's no one to blame. There's not that much random stuff coming in from all sides, like in PUBG. It's 99% skill. There is some luck, of course, in every game. Warcraft, Starcraft, Quake. Okay, there is some luck, but for the most part, it's just pure skill and preparation and tactics. And that's what I really like about Quake. So I'm a bit sad that I missed out on it. I don't think I'll ever play it actively because Quake is not really an alive game. There is QuakeCon, there's a few tournaments, but other than that, it's always the same few guys owning those, so I don't have an interest in playing Quake too much. And it's also not too good for streaming, I'd say, because for a casual viewer, it gets a bit stale and boring, unless you're a big Quake fan, that it's obviously really good. But if you want to watch Quake, it's probably because you play it. Unlike PUBG, where 50% of my viewers don't even own the game. Raju with a question. Before you came to YouTube, what type of job were you doing? I was in college, and as soon as I finished college, I went to full-time streaming, so I didn't even look for a job. Now I've got a job. I'm self-employed in Croatia here as a streamer, and it's something new here. It's a really complicated issue with the legislation and the taxes and all of that, and just how it works when you're a streamer, but overall it's really good. If you want your question to be answered in the next one, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching this one. Hope you liked it. Hope you liked the view. This is the old town, the King's Landing. Dubrovnik, that's my hometown. So maybe you cannot see it from this angle, but it's right over there. You might see the forts on the right side on that rock. I'll show it more once I get a chance to film this. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.